pay your respects, you know? Like at the end of the day, people are willing to go overseas and fight for us.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
So we should dive into this. I mean, at least a little bit. I think it's the past, 5 days have been it's a complex situation. It's breaking as we speak. It's continuing to break. And obviously we saw a situation that started with I believe the our consulate in Iraq, right, was the original situation to which Trump killed the general.
Yeah, he ordered
one of the generals of the Iranian government.
Yeah,
to which they fired missiles at one of our bases in Iraq. Yeah. And this has been this continued kind of trade-off. And now obviously there's a ton of conversation around, was Trump in the right for killing for killing this general, and he'll say that he was killing to protect lives.
Right.
And so there's a lot of conversation there right now around, did he have the right to do it? Should he have done it? And, it's a very, very, very complex issue. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like I can see why there are people that would say that he's doing certain things to distract from another agenda which is taking place. And
political.
And I don't know. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think any of us.
So did you know the general that was killed? Yeah. He basically invented the IED program.
Right? He was one of the inventors of the IED.
Yeah. So he's responsible. That man alone is responsible for 17% of U.S. service members' deaths in Iraq.
My God.
From General the course of like 2002.
How do you say it? Soleimani, right? Yep.
It was interesting being with the military guys.
What did they think about this?
We didn't really dive in with them.
Yeah, but I've talked to them a little bit afterwards, and I think a lot of these guys are very locked into the service to the country and the leadership of this country. And so when something pops off, they are 100% in full support of the president. I'm sure there's people, service members that are watching the show or people, veterans that disagree with this. But a lot of the people that I see that are in the armed forces are just very gung ho and they're ready to fight. And that's what they're trained to do. And by the way, they like fucking doing it. And so it just is really tricky. And I think you made a good point that, it's easy to watch the politicians move the pieces around the board without thinking of the actual collateral, and that collateral is American lives, and.
And it's also potentially like, I know Iran they have their nuclear weapons, like they're building nuclear grade uranium right now.
Trump said, he tweeted, I think in all caps, Iran does not have any nuclear weapons.
They don't yet, but they have facilities that are processing nuclear grade uranium.
So basically what's happened here is Iran was in a shutdown of their nuclear program based on US and other countries running really tough sanctions against them. And so we've been in this kind of uneasy peace with Iran for a long time now. And what you're seeing at the high levels, you saw this attack from Trump. You saw this kind of almost like purposeful miss is what people are kind of calling it. They launched dozens of rockets at this massive sprawling base. As from what we know right now, there's no U.S. casualties. But the thing that a lot of people need to understand is this has caused massive waves that are not human casualty based. They have now backed out of their treaty to stop making nuclear weapons. So they are going to start back on production, and maybe that scares some people, but doesn't scare Trump or the US government, and that's fine. Yeah. We've seen or
maybe they were already still doing it,
we had I'm sure there's like watchdog groups making sure that there wasn't, right? But then they've also we've started to withdraw U.S. troops from Iraq or Iraqi Guard or something that was fighting ISIS and ISIL. So there's a lot of waves that come out of this attack that will continue to kind of develop, and so it's interesting to watch. I mean,
super hard to comment on it, because we don't know.
I mean, you just don't know. You don't know what that guy was doing. You don't know if what he was planning, what he was doing, or if this is just a posture from Trump to get people to stop talking about impeachment. And to by the way, to line him up for re-election. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but it's definitely possible.